What's up guys? In today's video I am going to be doing a review of the Ugly Stik Elite spinning rod. This rod comes in at $49.95, which is one of the reasons why I initially picked it up as my first ever saltwater fishing rod. And in today's video I'm going to tell you guys exactly what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and whether or not this is a rod that you should pick up for the cheap price of $49.95. If you are new to the channel, my name is Nick and I do a bunch of fishing related videos such as how-tos, gear reviews like the video you're watching now, and also overall fishing adventures while I try to learn fishing as a first generation fisherman. So if you want to come along with the ride, make sure you subscribe, and if you do find value in this video, make sure you hit that like button for me. It will really help me out. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video. So as I mentioned before, the first thing that really drew my attention to this Ugly Stik is the price. I walked into Bass Pro not really knowing much and didn't really want to spend a lot of money as I first got into saltwater fishing, and I see this Ugly Stik Elite sitting there, look up some reviews on it, and it actually had pretty good reviews for the price, so I ended up picking it up and it was a really good decision, and I've gotten a lot of bang for my buck so far out of this rod. And really for 50 bucks, you don't really expect something that's going to be in the salt water for extended period of times to really last you that long. But that is the first thing that really impressed me about this rod, is the fact that it is so durable. I've used it primarily in salt water for the past 4 years or so, and there's really little signs of wear and tear on it. And I have not been easy on this rod by any means. I have dropped it on the deck multiple times. I've accidentally thrown it overboard. I've stepped on the guides. I've even rolled it up in my car window, and it is still working the same as the day I bought it. And that's the number one reason why I really like this rod, is because of how durable it is. Now, Ugly Stiks are known for their durability. In fact, a lot of people say they're almost indestructible, but what you do get for its durability, you do miss in some of the finer details in a rod. And what I mean by that is the sensitivity as well as some of the backbone of it. It doesn't really have the stiffness that you would expect. Now I have two versions. I have a medium light version. I also have a medium heavy version. The medium light is definitely your traditional wet noodle rod. Even though it can catch fish, it definitely doesn't have the backbone that you want when you are fighting some of these inshore game fish like redfish, trout, snook, flounder, things like that, especially if you're trying to pull them away from cover. The medium heavy does have a little bit more backbone, but compared to some of my other rods, it just doesn't have the stiffness that you would want or the sensitivity that you would want when you are looking for that bite. Now, I recently did upgrade my rods to TFO Professionals, and if you subscribe, you'll be sure to see the review on those as well. But one thing I have noticed is just the sensitivity is definitely night and day. The Ugly Stik is a very durable rod, but it does not match the sensitivity when it comes to the TFO. Now, Ugly Stiks are made of a graphite and fiberglass composite material, so they are very durable, like I said. Another good thing that these rods do have for the price is a one-piece stainless steel guide. And what that means is it's a one-piece construction, so you don't have to worry about the guide inserts falling out. A lot of times, and I've actually experienced it twice now, on some of these cheaper rods that you buy with combos, like with the Penn Battle combos, is the rod guide inserts pop out super easy. You can pop them back in, but once it pops out one time, it's just not the same. And once the rod guide is popped out, you're better off just getting another rod at that point. I've actually fished only a handful of times with some of the rods that are paired with the combos, and the rod inserts have popped out maybe after 3 or 4 times. They're just not as durable as the Ugly Stik. The one-piece guides that the Ugly Stik Elite has are super durable. You can bend them back into place if you accidentally bend them, and because of that, it's just a really overall good value for this particular rod. Now, one thing that has really impressed me, like I was saying earlier, even though it does have not the same backbone as some of these more expensive rods, it still is pretty impressive when it comes to fighting fish. I have caught 10 to 15 pound amberjacks on the medium heavy rod, and they had no problems fighting the fish. And as you can see, I still have the rod in one piece, so that's a bonus. The only bad thing is when you are trying to pull some of these bigger fish away from structure, it just doesn't have that backbone like I was saying earlier. But overall, for any of the inshore fish that you're looking to catch on the flats, it shouldn't have any problems catching those fish. So if you're asking yourself who made this rod be for, well, if you're just starting out fishing and you have never bought a rod before, I would highly recommend starting out with this rod, because for the price you really can't beat the durability of it. Being a first-time fisherman like I was when I bought this rod, I really didn't know how to treat my rod with care, and because of that it got beat up quite a bit, but it is still standing strong. I actually still use this rod as one of my secondary rods, and along with my offshore fishing arsenal, it actually is used as a sabiki rod. So it has exclusively seen salt water for about 4 years now, and it is still working like the day I bought it. And because it's only 50 bucks, you really can't beat that. Another good thing is if you are looking to buy a rod for maybe one of your children, or if you just want a rod that you know is something you can just throw anywhere and it's going to hold up, then this rod is for you. And at 50 bucks, you really don't feel too bad spending the money on the rod that's gonna last you for a long time. Now, for those of you who are maybe doing a little bit more finesse fishing, this definitely is a rod you may wanna stay clear from, just because it doesn't have the sensitivity of some of these higher end rods. Also, if you are going to be fishing heavy structure, I would probably recommend getting a little bit more of a stiffer backbone rod, just because you're gonna have a hard time pulling fish away from docks, oyster bars, structure on the bottom and things like that. So if you primarily fish structure, then I would recommend getting a heavier rod that has a little bit more backbone so you can really yank those fish off the structure. Lastly, if you are looking for an inexpensive rod and you are just fishing the flats, then this is a really good option for you, just because you can really use the drag on your reel as opposed to the rod for pulling fish away from structure. And at 50 bucks, you can actually get a couple combos instead of wasting a lot of money on one rod and being only able to afford one combo. For me, that's in essence what I did when I first started, because I wanted to have a couple different combos to fish with, and I couldn't really afford just buying $300 worth of gear right off the bat. That is a reason why I actually picked up these rods for the first time. It's just because they were inexpensive and I wanted a couple different combos to play with. So overall, like I said, it's a really good rod for beginners or for those who have children and are wanting to have a rod that is just super durable and inexpensive. This is the rod for you. If you are looking to pull fish off of structure, or if you're doing more finesse fishing, then I would probably steer towards a more expensive, sensitive rod, or one with more of a stiff backbone. So that concludes this video. I hope you guys were able to find value in it. If so, please make sure to leave a like. Let me know your thoughts on this rod if you have used it before. I'd really like to hear from you guys, and whether or not you think this is a good rod for 50 bucks, or if maybe there are some other options that you guys could suggest. I would really appreciate it, and I'm sure some of the other people who watch this video would really appreciate that as well. Thank you guys again so much for watching. If you do want to see more content like this, make sure you subscribe. I'll be sure to put some videos up there for you guys to take a look at so you can enjoy more of this channel. But until the next time, hope you're able to get out on the water and catch some fish.